I love how Sein literally says what I think we all have been feeling about Fern and Stark, and that's just date already. Just start dating, kiss, make up, get over the little hump that is this young love. And I love the fact that before his exit, at least probably for this anime season, I doubt we're gonna see him again in the next 11 episodes as he is going off to find his friend. You just see so much innocence about them and just how when they bicker, when they fight, you can just tell how into each other they are, whether it's previous episodes like our boy Stark showing a lot more compassion, a lot more physical touch, helping her over the log or the puddles to make sure she's okay. And in this episode, she ends up getting upset with him because she ended up getting scared because he's a strong guy. And basically, it kind of felt like she was getting jumped and she didn't realize. And she's perfectly fine with him touching her. It's just be a little more gentle. I'm a girl. You have to be nice to me. And I love how his response to that is just start dating already. I swear to God, if you guys send me letters and you're not confirming your relationship, so help me God, he's shaking his fist in the air. Absolute brilliant. Full eye reaction and to this wonderful new Frieren episode is available on my Patreon. If you would like to see that, it's over there if you're interested. I missed watching this. I mean, it was a short break. We had like 16 episodes of this bad boy before it went on a break for a week. And it was a week too long in my mind. I mean, I'm still glad we get another 11 episodes before we have to say goodbye. But this show just continues to get better. And what I constantly will say is like, you can look at any episode of Frieren and strip it down to what technically happened. And I think it sounds boring on paper, yet somehow the execution of it is anything but boring. It's just absolutely mesmerizing. So this episode is basically, they get trapped in a snowstorm, a blizzard for a month. They have to hang out before ultimately they say goodbye to their friend. And then our girl gets sick and they have to take care of Fern. That's what this episode was, all things considered. Yet it was way more exciting than just that explanation. You have a good amount of time to say goodbye to my favorite character in the show. As much as I didn't want to see him go, I knew we had to let him go. He has to go find his friend. I mean, he's a human. We don't live forever. Even if he's already dead out there, you can't just continue to go down the wrong path if you know he's over here. So what can we do? Well, okay, let's spend the night together. Let's have some nice family bonding time, and then they get stuck in a blizzard. And even if they didn't spend a lot of time together over the course of that month, that's what a family is, right? They probably had dinner together, they talked from time to time, but they did their thing and they enjoyed life, and they just felt like a cute little family. And by the time they did part ways, it wasn't this overly emotional goodbye. I mean, a part of me was hoping he'd run back and give them all a hug, but I think it's kind of nice just having him just be like, later. Frieren also just kind of says goodbye, and I love how both Fern and Stark are like, well, that was kind of like anticlimactic, like nothing really happened, but like, this wasn't a goodbye forever. This wasn't, I'm never gonna see you again. It's like, this sucks. It's gonna be a lot more lonely traveling by myself, but everyone's gonna be okay. This isn't the end of the road, this isn't the end of life, and even if they only will see each other again years from now, they'll see each other again. This isn't a final goodbye, and I love the fact that we bonded so much with a character who could have easily just been a ladies' man and turned out to be, I think, one of the best characters I've seen in the past couple of anime seasons. And I hope we do get to see him again eventually, whether that is in a season 2 or we get surprised down the line this season. But either way, very positive impression, and I was very happy to see a blizzard. I would like to believe there's a god in this world that looked down and said, you know what? We need to get these two lovebirds dating, and we need to give Brandon more time with his favorite anime character. Insert blizzard, and that was fantastic. Now, the cold stuff. So I found this to be an interesting change of pace. I thought what was going to happen, you already have the just start dating kind of line, and I'm like, okay, no one can even deny it at this point. I've had a couple of people say that they seem just like family, and I'm like, if you really look at Fern and Stark as just family, unless you're looking at Alabama level families, I don't see how that doesn't seem like two people very much into each other, but I digress. I thought our boy was going to have to go out in a blizzard, find some herbs, and help heal her. But it was just a generic cold. Yeah, it sucks, and yeah, she was sick, but she wasn't dying. This wasn't the end of the world. It was a very simple, she's sick, get her to a doctor, do what we can, and get her over that hump. And I love the fact that we get this very nice romantic moment, both in the flashback, but also this family-loving gesture in the current present day. So one thing that's really nice about Frieren's development is that we don't realize how much of who she currently is or things she appreciates actually are built around the hero. chemo, and how basically things that he did for her or things that have happened around her because of him are why she is the way she is. Like, her entire reason of taking Sein as a character into our party was because she saw herself in him the same way she was recruited back in her original journey. Or the idea of the hand-holding. It's not about being a kid. It's about when she was sick that one time, he held her hand and gave her comfort. So anytime Fern was sick or needed comfort, that's how she showed her compassion, because she felt it from him. And I'm like, oh my god, you just continue to make them feel such like a beautiful, tragic couple. Tragic in the way that they're dead, and she never like fully got into that relationship. She never properly expressed her feelings while he was alive. And it's like, oh, that trip to heaven when they finally get to that reunion is gonna hurt all the more, but hopefully we'll let everything just resolve itself in a peaceful, beautiful way. And I think it's really sweet because while I definitely think we can make the argument that Fern seems more like the mother in terms of between her and Frieren more often than not, there's so many moments where it does feel like Frieren rises to the occasion and does become the adult, and this was definitely one of those moments. New opening and ending, beautiful. I think the new ending song is probably my favorite ending song of this anime season so far. I don't know if I'm the only one feeling it, but there was some visual representation in that ending song that reminded me of how Studio Shaft would animate like a Madoka Magica Magia record. Just really cool, very different. In the opening, just immediately, I was like, I forgot we were getting new openings and endings this week, and I was just taken back. I was like, this is amazing. Beautifully directed, songs were amazing, some great bass in the opening, just the show gets better. That's all I can say. Like, at this point, if you could be 17 episodes into Frieren and not see how much of a quality production the show is, I mean, while I could understand some people maybe not enjoying it as much just because opinions and tastes differ, that's okay. But this is the type of show that even if I wasn't personally into, I could see the level of passion, the level of quality directing, the camera shots, the emotion, the way the characters interact with each other. It doesn't go predictable in the cliche way. He didn't turn around and run back to give them a big hug, a big sappy hug like I wanted and what you would expect. They didn't go the route of she's dying because of a cold and he has to do this romantic, I have to march in the blizzard to get her this plan or she'll die. Everything's realistic. Everything is normal, and because of that, it lets human connections blossom in a realistic way. So even if you don't like Frieren, I've seen a few people try to act like it's just average, it's like whatever. It's like, no, you're just being a hater at that point. Don't like the show, that's fine, but to not call it quality is just asinine in my opinion. But that's just me. I think the show gets better with each episode. I think it's impossible to say what is the best episode of Frieren when they're all just so 10 out of 10, at least for me. But let me know what you're feeling of this episode down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more of the channel, and like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, you also get a video shout out. Today we have Ishta, Eternally Lost, Mauve, Curso, and Joshua Scherer Martin. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.